And Sylvia and I are laughing, and we're like, all right, we were so excited, and we had so much fun. So then after that, we were hooked. We were totally hooked.
Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast, inspiring real women with a passion for fishing and the outdoors to go get their adventure on. Now, here's your host, Angie Scott and Barb Carey.
Welcome to the Woman Angler and Adventurer podcast. I'm Angie Scott. Every now and then on the Woman Angler and Adventurer, we like to mix things up a little bit, and this is one of those times. When I was first getting my start in the music business, I had to take a second job to make ends meet. So I started moonlighting as an usher at the Grand Ole Opry. I wanted to learn more about the history of bluegrass and country music, and that I did. But my biggest source of education didn't come from as much as the performers on stage as it did from some of the other hostesses who worked there. Some of them had worked there for 30 years or more. That was my favorite part about that gig, listening to them tell me stories about when the Opryland theme park was still there, and the king of country music himself, Roy Acuff, whose house was right there on the property next door to the Opry House, would sit on his front porch and wave to the patrons in between matinee performances. I could sit and listen to them tell me stories for hours. Just recently, I interviewed a fly angler and a conservationist for an upcoming episode, and her major source of influence was her great-grandmother. I know based off comments in our Woman Angler and Adventurer Facebook group that many of you listening have strong female role models from older generations that got you interested in the outdoors. I think that's so powerful to learn and be inspired by those women. That being said, let me set the scene for this episode. One summer evening, my co-host Barb Carey and her 70-year-old friend Chris are sitting in Barb's garage in Wisconsin enjoying a couple beers, just shooting the shit. Oh, by the way, there's some explicit language in this episode, so if you have sensitive ears around or little ones nearby, you may want to listen to this one with some headphones on, or save it for a time when you're by yourself. Chris is an absolute hoot. She starts telling Barb hunting story after hunting story. Out of the corner of Barb's eye, she sees her podcast recorder sitting there, and she hits the record button. What you're about to hear is their 100% raw and unedited conversation. Come be a fly on the wall with me and enjoy this one-of-a-kind episode on the Woman Angler and Adventurer.
So we're sitting there watching these, drooling over these geese, and all of a sudden we see, like, maybe 7 or 8 pickup trucks flying down because it's all in 1 mile sections out there.
Where was that?
North Dakota. Everything's in 1 mile sections. And you don't ask them how many acres they have. They own sections, these farmers out there. So we were watching these trucks going down, they stop. Bunch of guys get out of the truck, bunch of trucks turn around, come, pull up, about 4 of them right in front of us. Guys get out, boxes of shells, set them down on the road, they're all lining up, and they're loading up their gun, and they standing there. And Sylvia and I are like watching all this in front of us, and we're in my van.
They're right by you on the road?
Yeah, they're right in front of us. They like from me to your tree out there away. We were right in the right spot. So we were sitting there watching these guys, and all of a sudden them guys that were over there started running across that field and pushed them geese out of there.
Oh.
And now I'm telling you what, there's thousands and thousands of geese in this field. They start coming up, and these guys start shooting, and geese are dropping all over the goddamn place. I looked at Sylvia. Sylvia looked at me, and we out of the car. Let the dog out. We're out there shooting away. They were dropping these geese all over the. Sophie didn't know where to go. She was grabbing one, running over, drop it, run, get another one, drop it. She was retrieving for the guy. She was running all over. She didn't know what the hell to think, And after everything was all said and done, there's like, you could kill like 30 of these things. That was like your, there was
What
no
year
limit.
was that?
was early 90s. There was millions of these things. They were crop damage, big things, because the flocks were so huge.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, after it was all over with, Sylvia and I were looking at this guy, and I said, is this legal? Is this legal? He looks at me and goes, yes, it is.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And then there were two girls from Wisconsin, license plate. We go pick up all our geese.
What'd you do with them
We
then?
cleaned them all up.
You were probably eating goose all the way home.
They were good. They were not like the geese, the Canada geese. They tasted different.
Oh.
They were different. But then we got back to the motel, you know, and all these duck hunters and goose hunters and stuff. And I did have my little green boat, but I had my full-size conversion van, you know. So there's no improved boat launches there. You have to have four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
So I couldn't dump my boat in and duck hunt out of the boat. So we had to do all field hunting.
It didn't seem to hurt you.
Oh, no, not at all. And then we got stopped by the game warden one time, duck hunting in that one pothole. And he was so nice, man. He was like, oh, he says, I know there's some ducks here that I haven't been pushed real hard. And he showed us he says, here, you go in here in the afternoons. They come out of the lake and they come in here in the afternoons. He says, oh, man, they were so helpful. And wherever we went, we shot ducks. And then we had all them fucking whites. Snows. There were snows and speckles and all these different ones. But Sylvia and I had a ball. Oh, my God.
I wish I'd have known Sylvia.
Oh, she was a hoot. Great sense of humor. Norwegian. Sylvia Odegaard.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sounds like a superhero name.
She was awesome. Her and I had some experiences. The very first time I went goose hunting was with Sylvia.
Oh, really?
Up at Goose Haven.
Who taught her?
We taught each other.
Oh, she hadn't gone either?
We never didn't know nothing. The two of us were novices. I always wanted to go duck and goose hunting in Horicon Marsh. I didn't have my little boat yet. I'm like, I want to go. I'm going to do that. And I was driving through there for work one time. I had to go up to Horicon Marsh. I had to go up to Horicon. And I had to, what's up there? John Deere? Well, some factory up there. And so I had to go take care of some business in the machinery, you know, for Xerox. And I saw these signs on the side of the road, the hunting blinds for rent, hunting blinds for rent. I'm like, wow, maybe I could do that, you know? So then what I did was I called the Chamber of Commerce in Horicon, and they sent me a sheet. They mailed it to me of all the people that rent blinds in the Horicon Marsh area. I didn't know that was a huge thing, you know. So I applied for the tag, got it, got my permit. So did Sylvia, and we only could get, that time was 3 tags for the whole season. That's all we could get then. So we went to Gander Mountain. Well, I went to Gander Mountain, Gander Mountain or someplace. I can't remember where I went. At Gander Mountain, because I had to get shells. I told the guy, I said, we're going to Horicon, what do I need? We're going to go goose hunting. He sells me number 2 steels, duck loads. But in the meantime, we get this sheet in the mail, and there's all these listings of all these people that rent blind, all these farmers with names, phone numbers. I'm going through the list, looking through the list, and all of a sudden I say, Monica, Goose Haven Hunt Club, woman's name, phone number. I'm like, I'm going to call that one. Go figure, right?
Really?
Of course, I'm going to pick out a woman's name. All guys, one woman. I'm going to call that one first. So I did. So I got to know Monica at Goose Haven. We rented a blind. I talked to her, and we'll rent a blind. I told her we never did this before. She was all excited that we were coming up. So when I had Sophie.
How old was Sophie then?
Oh, she was just a baby too yet. She was
a baby too yet.
11. She was only 11 months then. Because that was the first time we went. She was only 11 months old. And my trainer said that I was working with said, "Don't be surprised if she doesn't retrieve a goose. She's still a baby. And they're pretty big, and she might be afraid of it. So don't worry. I would be careful." Okay. She didn't care if it was a pterodactyl. She would attack it.
Really brought it back to you?
So anyway, Sylvia and I get out there, and Monica, because it was our first time, put us in the pit blind, which is down in the ground, which is really cool. It's got a roof over your head, like you're sitting in the ground, and the geese come out right over your head out of the marsh. They start coming out by the thousands. They're coming up right over our heads. Sylvia and I are blasting away. Nothing's coming down. I see my BBs hitting that goose in the chest because I see feathers flying and I can hear them. My BB's hitting the chest of that goose and it's not penetrating. I can't drop a goose. Sylvia's got handkerchiefs wadded up in our shirt because our shoulders are like purple because we went through 2 boxes of shells. So it's about 9:30 and we're all out of shells, but the geese are still going. So we go back to the car, go back to her place, and we go in there all dejected. And she's like, "Did you limit out? They're coming out by the thousands." And we're like, "No." And then we were telling her what was going on. I said, "I don't know what we're doing wrong, I said, "I saw feathers fly, but nothing's coming down." She goes, "What are you using?" And I showed her the box. She goes, "Oh my God, no. You need double B's." I'm like, "Well, this is what Gander Mountain told me when we told them what we were doing." And she goes, "Oh no, here, she sold us a box of shells." She goes, "There's a blind right up in front here, up on the hill. Go up there," she goes, "and use these shells." Oh, 30 minutes. We both had our geese. We're done. Sophie was having a blast. First one I shot, it was so exciting. I shot that goose and it kind of went down and it hit the ground and it was flopping, running, and Sophie beeline it, hit that fucker ass over tea kettle. Holy shit, I almost shit my pants. I couldn't believe how... And my trainer's like, "Oh, she might be afraid, Be careful.
My God.
Be careful. I was like, oh yeah. Here she comes back. She's got the goose, the thing is flopping. There's a big fucking goose. She's dragging it on the ground.
Oh my God.
Because she was just 11 months old, and Sylvia and I are laughing. And we were like, all right, we were so excited and we had so much fun. So then after that, we were hooked. We were totally hooked.
Oh my God. What an experience.
Her and I hunted before, and we shot, one time we were hunting and we went goose hunting up there, and we shot a goose and we couldn't find it because it sailed. We only got to hunt one time because we hit the last of the season, but that's by Monica. But we actually shot the goose, and it sailed in the corn and we couldn't find it. And that was when I decided I'm getting a dog. That's when I got Sophie. And then 11 months later, I got Sophie. She was born in February 4th. And then I picked her up in March. And
you're that same fall?
That following fall.
Wow.
When she retrieved that goose. That was amazing.
How many years did you hunt together then?
Sylvia and I? Not too much longer after North Dakota because she got ill. And then she passed away.
That's sad losing a hunting buddy.
Yeah, a hunting buddy. Because she was one of my... First Torchy and then her. And those are the 2 people that hunted with me. Because Jenny really didn't get into the hunting end until Torchy was already ill.
Oh.
So.
And now look at you, being a great mentor for all these new women.
Oh my God. Too fun. All the crazy, and that's how I have always been flying by the seat of my pants. It drives Darlene nuts. It always has driven Darlene nuts because I just never. It's like, oh yeah, let's go to North Dakota, or oh yeah, let's go to Canada tomorrow.
You have the luxury to be able to do that. That's a gift.
Yeah, what are we going to do on vacation? Let's go to Canada. Okay.
Yeah.
How
fun.
Me and my friend Shirley. And
there is something not to pre-plan and everything.
Hey, Sylvia, instead of, let's go goose hunting in Horicon, but why don't we go to North Dakota? Because every time you turn the TV on, that's all they talked about was the duck hunting in North Dakota on all the hunting shows. And it was true. And not only that, we were driving down those roads shooting pheasants, and we were getting grouse and everything. As we're going, we go duck hunting in the morning, and then we go driving around on that farm on those gravel roads and go hunting for pheasants and grouse.
You must have ate really well.
We did, and we didn't have nothing with us. We were not prepared. We had, they did have a freezer at the place and then place to clean your stuff. But the guys all had grills, and oh my God, we ate good.
Oh, so you'd ate what they were grilling?
Yeah, and then we'd probably give them,
Right.
Sometimes, and a lot of times, a lot of those guys showed us how to clean a lot of that stuff. Now we come back with a duck, and they're like, yeah, you don't want to clean that one. You don't want to clean that one. That don't taste very good.
Oh, because the kind
of
duck
you don't want to shoot those kind. Yeah.
Oh, well, good to know.
Yeah. Oh, they don't? No, they taste like fish. Real fishy. They're real fishy. They eat fish. Oh, okay. Don't shoot them.
What kind was that?
Anymore.
Do you know?
Coots.
A coot?
A coot. We shot a coot.
Oh.
Well, I didn't know any better. I remember my grandmother yelling at my grandfather for shooting them things.
Oh, I never even heard of them. The only coot I know is Coot's Lures.
Because they're huge. They're big.
Oh,
birds.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we had buffalo heads. We had buffalo heads. We had a couple of pintails. We had lots of mallards. It was unbelievable.
So you just harvested the meat and just ate all the meat?
Well, yeah, we brought a lot of it home.
Well, yeah, I mean, but
we ate a lot of it too. Those duck breasts, oh my God, you cut them up in chunks and then you just throw a little teriyaki marinade in there and wrap a little bacon around and throw them on the grill. Oh, they melt in your mouth. It's like tenderloin.
Oh.
It's delicious because they're real red.
Yeah.
It's a red meat. They're delicious. Mallard is phenomenal. So is Woody. I love Woody.
I haven't eaten a lot of duck.
Very good. Really
First time I had goose was when we were goose hunting last year, and I ate that goose.
Yeah. Goose got a livery taste to them. You got to pull that out of them.
My goose, I made that shredded, like, Portillo's Italian beef goose. And that was good.
Yeah, it was, but it's delicious.
Yeah, I had more in the freezer, and it's missing. I don't know what happened to it.
I used all mine, so I'm all done. But I'm like some more, for sure.
Yeah, I want to get some geese.
Yeah. I got to get out of here. I got to go to bed.
Me too.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Be sure and stop by thewomanangler.com/34 to see a couple photos of Chris. There's also a link to a blog post that Barb did about this evening on her Wisconsin Women Fish site. While you're there checking out the show notes, be sure and sign up for our email list if you haven't done so already. Big things are coming. Thank you so much for supporting the show by being a loyal listener. Until next time.